Today we're going to look at integrating the RadRichTextBox control with RadPDFViewer. RadPDFViewer is part of Telerik's Rad controls for Silverlight WPF control suite for .NET XAML development. The RadPDFViewer control allows you to view PDF documents right within your Silverlight applications without the need for an external viewer. You can scroll, pan, and zoom PDF files to get a better view of your content. In this video, we will use a RadRichTextBox control to edit data and then save the data as a PDF file. We will then use the RadPDFViewer to display the data in the same application. Let's go ahead and get started. So here we are, we're inside of Visual Studio 2010, and we're going to begin by creating a new project. So I'm going to go New Project, Telerik Silverlight, C# Rad Controls Silverlight Application. I'm going to go ahead and give this a name of RadPDFViewer Integration Demo Telerik TV, or TTV. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit OK. So I'm going to host this application in a new website. I'm also going to be using Silverlight 5 for this demo. I'm going to next go ahead and press OK. So now it brings up the project configuration wizard. So I have a couple of things going on here. So the first item that I'm going to add is actually going to be the RadRichTextBox. So if I put a check here in RadRichTextBox UI, you see that all of the other components that's necessary to use this control has automatically been added for us. So the next thing that I'm going to need to do is actually add in the control that allows us to use the RadPDFViewer, and that is found in Fixed Document Viewers. So I'm going to simply place a check there as well. So the next thing that I'm going to need to add in is actually going to be a format provider for the PDF file. So if I place a check here in telerik.windows.documents.formatproviders.pdf, I'll be able to use the PDF format provider with my RadRichTextBox control. Now that we have that in place, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to select Finish. I'm going to give this just a second or so to finish spinning up, and then we'll take a look at the references. So now the application has finished loading. I'm going to scroll over here and you can see that under our references it's added several references for us to use all of these different things. So I'm just going to come back up under references and I'm going to scroll over and we're going to look at the XAML view. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is underneath the Telerik XML namespace, I'm going to simply paste in one called Controls. So I'm going to use this controls when we get down to our RadPDFViewer. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and paste in some row definitions. So we've added 4 row definitions here. The first one here is going to be for a button to export the contents of the RadRichTextBox, and the second one is going to be for the RadRichTextBox. Then we have the third one here, which will be for our toolbar, and the fourth one here, which will be for the actual PDF viewer. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to drop a button in, and this first button is basically going to be to export the data from our RadRichTextBox. I'm going to come to the actual click event handler and allow this to go ahead and create our click event handler inside of our main page. Now that that's in place, I'm going to simply switch back over to where we were before, our main page.xaml, and I'm going to paste in the XAML that's going to give us a RadRichTextBox. So the RadRichTextBox, we actually had an episode on XAMLflix, which was the week before this one, so you can go back and check that out if you want to know a little bit more about how the RadRichTextBox works and how we created this data. But the most important thing to note here is that by using the RadRichTextBox, we can actually bold, italics, we can add other things to our document, and we can export those to a PDF file, which the RadPDFViewer will be able to read. So let's go ahead and let's add in the click event handler that we were working on before. If we double click on our main page.xaml, I'm actually going to come here and I'm going to paste in a code snippet here, and you can see for our button export click, we're just going to call this method and we're going to pass in the RadRichTextBox.document. From here it's going to export to PDF, and we're using the PDF format provider that we talked about a little bit earlier that we added into our references. We're going to pop up a save file dialog Then once that's complete, we're going to actually save the file, and then we're going to pop up a message box saying that the file was saved successfully. So let's switch back over to our main page.xaml, and let's add in our Rad toolbar. So I'm going to simply come underneath our RadRichTextBox. I'm going to paste in the Rad toolbar that we saw in our second video of the series, and then we're going to do pass equals to the command, and we're going to add in a button, and this button is actually going to be to open a file dialog, and the command here is going to be open PDF document command. Now once that's in place, we're going to add in our final line of code here, which is going to be for the RadPDFViewer. So I'm going to simply come here underneath the toolbar, and I'm going to paste in the RadPDFViewer. And as you can see, nothing is set here except for a couple of grids and margins, and of course we gave it a name. So from here we could go ahead and we could run our application, and if we run our application, we can see we have our button here to export the contents of the RadRichTextBox. Then we have our toolbar, but this time it only has an open command, and then down at the bottom we have our RadPDFViewer. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to go ahead and make a couple of changes to this document. So in this text here, we see this sample shows how you can integrate the RadPDFViewer into the, and I'm going to simply just highlight this text, and we have the pop-up here, and I'm going to select bold into the RadRichTextBox control, and then I'm going to highlight this word with maybe a yellow, and to view PDF files, and we'll just go ahead and put an underline there. So from here I can export this, and I'll just name this as new PDF file and hit save. We see it's been saved successfully. We can come back to our Rad toolbar, and we can select that file, and we give it just a second. We can see that the RadPDFViewer was able to load that PDF file, and we can see that it maintained all of the things that we had highlighted, to even our underlines, to our bold. And of course there's other options that exist that you can play with as well. So thank you for watching the series, and of course if you have any questions or concerns, then feel free to leave them either in the blog post that I created on blogs.telerik.com, or you can leave them in the forums. Also be sure to check out tv.telerik.com for more videos that we've created, and blogs.telerik.com for the latest news and announcements. Thank you.